day 7, so end of week 1 of creating my best life, being my best self, and honestly coming out of people pleasing like I've been my entire life. It has been, in a lot of ways, a really emotionally exhausting week. I've gotten into a lot of mental conflicts, and I still kept choosing to show up every day, and that in and of itself is such a huge win. I consistently got up early enough to work out in the mornings, and so I was up sometime between 5 and 5:45-ish. And some days it looked a little different. Some days my dog was in there with me. Other days I was able to get there by myself. And then another day I got to go hike with a friend. And no, this isn't an exercise vlog, journey, whatever you want to call it. However, exercise, physical activity, being outside, those things are what make me feel my best. And the version of my best self that I have in my head is somebody who makes time for that, makes space for that, and that is just a part of who they are. And so a lot of this journey, there will be a lot of physical activity, there will be a lot of workouts and exercise and those kinds of things, because that's what my best self prioritizes. That's what my best self cares about. And so I'm really proud of myself for that. I think that was a huge accomplishment on my part. And then I had another breakthrough. I think if you're not a people pleaser, you might not know this, but when somebody has been people pleasing their whole life, it is very easy for them to lose themselves in that process, in that journey, in that identity. And that's kind of what happened to me. And I got married almost 4 years ago. My husband is not a people pleaser by any means, but it kept showing me how much people pleasing was just a part of who I was, and I hated it. And what people pleasing does eventually is that you essentially lose yourself to people pleasing. You have made space for everybody's wants and desires and concerns but your own, and eventually you take on everyone else's wants and desires and concerns as your own. And then as you start shedding that people-pleasing identity, all of a sudden you're realizing, like, who am I then? How I've taken on all of these other things in my life that are not mine to take and that I don't want. And now I have to start from scratch of figuring out, who am I then? And that is really what this journey is about, is recreating and redefining who Ginny is. And feels a little big, feels a little scary in a lot of ways, and it feels pretty freeing and exciting. And I know it's going to be really difficult, but week 1 I think was really positive overall. I'm really excited for week 2. I'm really excited to continue practicing the things that I've learned, and really leaning into the identity work, which I can link a couple of videos below as well if that is something that's of interest to you. I think identity work is a really important aspect when we are looking to create some kind of change in our life, because ultimately we kind of fall to the identity that we see ourselves or believe that we have, whether it's a conscious identity or not. And I think that's super interesting. So being conscious about who we want to be and who we choose to be. And that's really what this journey for me is about, is me consciously choosing and getting clarity and taking action towards the kind of person that I want to be. So recap of week 1 overall. Now that it's Sunday, now that it's the day, like the end of the week, I'll give it a 9 out of 10. I think it was a positive week overall. A lot of learning, a lot of growth, and I'm looking forward to week 2.